Echoes of Us, written by Azalea Moon. Previously on Echoes of Us. Maggie's flair for drama hits new heights when Camila goes dark for nearly 24 hours. And she knows something is wrong. Desperate and spiraling, Maggie launches into full telenovela mode, combing the internet for Marina Rodriguez's details, leaving fiery voicemails and threatening to call the press. When Marina finally responds, Maggie learns the truth, or part of it. Camila is safe and with Sebastian. Meanwhile, Camila and Sebastian navigate a quiet, emotionally charged evening together. As they shed layers of hurt and history, their connection reignites in the softest, most intimate ways, until unresolved questions start creeping in. A late-night shower turns steamy, but beneath the passion lies a shared exhaustion neither one dares name just yet. Back in the kitchen, old memories stir as Sebastian serves a dinner that feels like time travel. Pad thai, green curry, and the kind of care that says I never forgot you. But just as Camila starts to believe in the moment's comfort, she asks a simple question that cracks open a much deeper truth. How does Sebastian know Marina? The answer? Prison. And what unfolds next may just rewrite everything Camila thought she knew about the man who came back from the dead. And now, episode 9.
The room is quiet save for the soft rhythmic sound of our breathing. The night stretches around us, enveloping us in something gentle, intimate, unspoken. I lie beside Sebastian, my fingers tracing slow, deliberate paths over his skin. I stop when I reach the raised scar that runs along his abdomen. I trace it again, this time more intentionally, like it's a story, a turning point, a transformation. Sebastian inhales deeply, his hand resting lightly on my waist.
For a long time I hated the scar. It reminded me of that day, of the blood, of how close I came to dying in that place.
I don't say anything. I just listen, feeling the weight of his words settle around us.
But after a while I stopped seeing it as a reminder of violence. It became a symbol of something else.
I glance up at him, my fingers still tracing the scar. Of what? Sebastian turns to meet my gaze, his expression raw, honest.
Growth, change, proof that I wasn't just a victim of what Victor did to me.
My fingers curl slightly against his stomach. My heart tightens as I let his words sink in.
When I stepped in for Marcus, I wasn't just reacting. I was making a choice, a real one, to protect someone, even if it meant bleeding for it. And for the first time, that instinct, the same one Victor used against me all those years ago, finally meant something.
I swallow, feeling the weight of it. Everything Sebastian had been through, everything he had become, wasn't just about survival. It was about purpose. Even in prison, you are still changing lives, I murmur. Sebastian's jaw tightens slightly, like he's not sure he deserves the acknowledgement.
I don't know about that.
I shake my head, my gaze steady on him. I do, because I know him. I always have. Even when he had nothing, when the world had taken everything from him, he had still fought to protect someone else. And that was the Sebastian I had always loved. I exhale, my voice barely above a whisper. I'm glad you didn't die, not just once, but twice. My fingers glide over the scar, tracing its jagged edges, the way it stretches from his lower ribs to his hip. It's a story in itself. One that only he can truly tell.
Yeah, well, guess I'm harder to kill than Victor expected.
I don't laugh. Instead, I keep tracing the scar, my touch so gentle it almost hurts. I lift my head, my gaze locking onto his, and for a moment, everything else falls away. I know him. I know his heart. He has always been this way. Protective, self-sacrificing, always choosing others over himself. And for the first time, it hadn't been used against him. I cup his cheek, my thumb brushing over his jaw. I'm glad you made it. My voice is thick, full of something I can't quite name. Sebastian turns his head, pressing a slow, lingering kiss to the inside of my palm.
Me too, see?
I sigh, settling back into his arms. So, what happened to Marcus? Sebastian smiles, the weight of the past lifting a little.
Got out a year after I did, went back to school. He's working for me now.
What does he do?
He's my assistant. Figured I owed him a job, considering he kept me from bleeding out in the yard.
For a while, neither of us speaks, because we don't need to. The past has left its scars on both of us. But right now, we're together. And for tonight, that's enough. For the first time, we aren't just mourning the past. We're starting to see the future. The next morning, a soft vibration pulls me out of sleep. At first, I barely register it, just a low hum against wood, distant and rhythmic. Then I remember last night. Sebastian's hands on me, slow and certain, like he was relearning every part of me. The way we laughed between kisses, the weight of his body grounding me, helping me forget. Just for a little while. I stretch, a lazy smile tugging at my lips. Everything aches in that delicious, well-used kind of way. Too much fun, not enough sleep. Then it buzzes again. I frown, turning toward the sound. It's not my phone. It's his. Sebastian's phone lights up on the nightstand, casting a pale glow across his face. He's out cold beside me, breathing deep and even, completely gone to the world. I push myself up on one elbow and nudge him gently. Sebastian, your phone. Nothing. He doesn't even flinch. I sigh and sit up fully, rubbing the sleep from my eyes. God, we really overdid it last night. Another buzz. This time, curiosity gets the better of me. I reach for the phone, fingers hovering over the screen, just for a second. Then I see the name, Victor. And just like that, the warmth drains from my chest. My stomach turns to stone. I freeze. All the questions I shoved down last night, buried beneath his touch, our laughter, the way we clung to each other like it meant something, they come roaring back. Victor. After all these years, what's the deal with him? Have you seen him, spoken to him? Clearly he's texting you. And whatever this thing is, this weight you carry when his name comes up, what does he want now? Hasn't he done enough? I inhale slowly, the kind that tries to steady you but only tightens the knot in your chest. My fingers clench around the phone. Part of me wants to shake Sebastian awake right now, shove the screen in his face, and demand the truth. But I don't. Because the truth, that message, whatever it is, I'm not ready. Not yet. So I put the phone back on the nightstand, ease myself down onto the pillow, stare up at the ceiling like it might give me answers. And then another buzz. Sebastian jerks upright, breath catching sharply in his throat. His arm brushes mine as he grabs the phone, eyes wide, still half in a dream. I shut my eyes, fast, pretend to be asleep. I feel him shift beside me, hear the silence stretch long and tense. Then a breath, a slow, heavy exhale. I crack one eye open. He's staring at the screen, the tension bleeding out of his shoulders. I almost say something, but change my mind. But later today, that changes. Then I need to know one thing. Am I really in danger?
The vibration drags me out of sleep like a hook buried deep in my chest. I don't need to look. I already know who it is. Victor. The only person on earth who doesn't seem to understand that my life is permanently set to do not disturb. I let out a slow breath, heavy, annoyed, already dreading what's waiting for me. I reach for the phone, fingers pausing just above the screen. Like touching it might burn. Then I swipe it open. The message hits fast, short, sharp, and underneath the usual slick confidence, something else. Desperation. Victor never sounds desperate. That's his whole game. Act like you're the one in control, even when the walls are closing in. But this is different. And desperate is never good. I exhaled through my nose, already calculating. I could throw money at him again. Buy some space, some silence. It's worked before. 4 years of hush money and veiled threats. But this time he's not asking for money. He wants something else. I scrub a hand down my face and force myself upright. My mind's waking up faster than my body now, racing ahead. Beside me, Camila shifts, slow and subtle, still curled up facing away. Too still, too quiet. She saw the name, felt it at least. I can hear it in her breath, measured like she's trying not to exist. She has questions. And today, she's going to get answers. Whether I'm ready to give them or not. After reading that text, I'd completely lost my ability to sleep. I quietly wiggle out of bed and head to the kitchen. Breakfast before drama is my motto.
After Sebastian jumped out of bed, I was lost in my thoughts, tossing and turning until exhaustion finally took over, and I must have fallen asleep. But now I awaken to the smell of pancakes again. This is definitely something I could get used to. I sigh, rubbing a hand over my face, then swing my legs out of bed. In the bathroom, I splash cool water on my skin, twist my hair into a lazy bun. Last night still lingers on my skin, in a way that makes me smile, but also reminds me just how much has changed in 2 days. And yet, as I step into the hallway, following the soft hum of music and the scent of syrup, everything feels familiar, like home. And then I see him. Sebastian stands barefoot at the stove, hair messy, flipping pancakes like he's been doing it his whole life. His voice floats through the kitchen, low and smooth, singing along to some old song as he moves like no one's watching. And the counter? Total chaos. Orange pulp everywhere, 2 glasses filled to the top, flour spilled like a crime scene, a stick of butter abandoned mid-mission. But I don't move. Because this isn't the guarded version of him that showed up at my door. This isn't the man shadowed by everything he won't say. This is my Sebastian, the boy who made me laugh with dumb jokes and sang off-key just to see me smile, the boy who loved me like it was the only thing he knew how to do. For a second, I let myself imagine staying here, pressing pause on time. No Victor, no past, no looming storm, just this. I smile. Well, didn't realize I was waking up to a whole performance. He spins around, spatula in hand, grinning like he's been caught red-handed.
Ah, she's awake.
His eyes sweep over me, warm and slow, settling somewhere that makes my breath catch.
I was going to bring you breakfast in bed, but I guess you ruined the surprise.
I smirk, stepping into the kitchen. Considering the crime scene you left on the counter, I'd say it's a miracle you made it this far. He laughs, easy and unbothered, and hands me a glass of orange juice.
Drink. No complaints allowed before breakfast.
I take the glass and let myself sink into this moment, just for a little while longer, because soon reality will knock down the door. But right now, there are pancakes, and for now, that's enough. The kitchen nook glows with soft morning light, cozy and golden, like the world outside forgot how complicated things are. The table between us is a mess. 2 empty plates, a glass of orange juice half gone, syrup scent still thick in the air. I lean back in my chair, tuck one leg underneath me, and run my finger along the rim of my glass. I've let myself enjoy this tiny pocket of peace, of something close to normal, but the pressure's been building in my chest since I opened my eyes. He hasn't brought it up, so I will. I glance at Sebastian, still cutting into his last piece of pancake, acting like the morning's been simple, easy, like Victor's name didn't flash across his phone less than an hour ago. Now or never, see. I take a breath. So, who kept texting you this morning? He doesn't look up right away. Too calm, too practiced. But then, there it is, the slight smirk tugging at the corner of his mouth as he finally meets my eyes.
Are you jealous?
I scoff, rolling my eyes. Don't flatter yourself. I'm just a curious person. He chuckles, slow and warm, chewing the last bite like he's got all the time in the world. Then he leans forward, resting his arms on the table, eyes playful.
Mm-hmm. Sure, Morales. Just curious.
We laugh, both of us, and for a second, it's easy, silly, like it used to be, like we're 17 again, sneaking pancakes and flirting like the world hasn't broken us. But then, the laughter fades from his eyes, and I know we're not 17 anymore.
I take a deep breath, fingers tapping absently against my plate. The teasing's gone. Whatever lightness we had, it vanishes the second I open my mouth again. It's Victor. Camila freezes. I lean back, hand dragging slowly over my jaw, trying to buy myself a few extra seconds before diving into the mess I've kept buried for too long. If I'm going to explain, I have to start from the beginning, from when he came back. 6 years. I avoided him for 6 years, made damn sure he couldn't reach me. No address, no number, nothing. I cut him out completely. My voice stays steady, but she can hear it, the strain behind every word. The part of me that's still fighting not to feel anything. Camila doesn't say a word, just nods, her fingers tightening around her glass. Waiting. And it worked, I go on. At first. Then one day, he found my office line. Landline. Not even mine, technically. But somehow, he got it. I tilt my head, eyes narrowing toward the window like the skyline can help me forget what came next. And then the calls started. Over and over, voicemails, messages. Like he was trying to claw his way back into my life. I ignored them, for weeks. But eventually, I called back.
What did he say?
I clench my jaw. The memory hits like a punch to the ribs. He was smooth, played it perfectly, said he was sorry, that he regretted everything, that he'd changed. There's a crack in my voice I don't bother hiding. Camila's eyes search mine.
And you believed him?
I shake my head slowly, pressing my lips into a hard line. No, not really, but for 1 second, I wanted to. Then I blink, and everything inside me shifts. My voice goes cold. But before the call ended, he asked for money. Camila doesn't flinch, but I see it in her eyes, that click of understanding. Of course, because with Victor, there's always a price. I let out a dry laugh. No humor in it, just bitterness that's been marinating for years. Victor had the nerve to say,
I see how successful you are, little brother. Maybe you could help me out, just a little something to get back on my feet.
I don't even need to mimic the voice. Camila hears it exactly how I did, oily, practiced like the guilt should already belong to me. I glance at her, her fingers curl tight on her lap, her jaw hard.
That manipulated bastard, what did you do?
I meet her eyes, direct, unflinching. I made him a deal, told him I'd pay him to stay away. It sounds insane out loud, but back then, it felt like the only move I had. Camila exhales, rubbing her forehead. Tired already, and we're barely past the surface.
And that actually worked?
I nod once. For a while. Every year he came back. Every year same story. And every year I wired him money. I say it plainly, like I'm reading off a receipt. But inside I'm boiling. Camila shakes her head, frustration creeping into her voice.
So what changed this time?
This year? This year, Victor didn't ask for money. Silence. I watch the shift in her, the way her posture tightens, the subtle catch in her breath. She doesn't like where this is going. Neither do I. Her voice stays calm, but I hear the undercurrent of dread.
And what did he ask for?
I don't blink, don't look away. My gaze locks with hers. And I say it like a confession I've been avoiding for days. There's something else. The air between us thickens, like the room itself is bracing for what's next. And I see it click behind her eyes. She knows. Whatever Victor wants. It's not about money anymore. It's about her. I sit back, drag a hand through my hair, and exhale slowly. This is it. The part I've been dreading. The moment that's about to blow up everything. Camila's across from me, arms folded tight, her face unreadable. She's bracing for the hit. I stare at the table for a second longer, then look her in the eye. Victor is looking for a tape. Her brow creases.
A tape?
I nod, tapping my fingers against the wood like it'll ground me. No, just any tape. one Jorge made before he died. A recording, every deal Victor ever made, names, dates, amounts, everything. And just like that, she freezes. Her entire body goes still, like I just hit pause on her world. She blinks once, then lets out a laugh. Sharp, hollow.
You're joking.
I shake my head slowly. I wish I was.
You mean to tell me that after all this time, Victor thinks my father, Jorge Morales, recorded his dirty business and kept it? On a tape?
I hear it in her tone. Disbelief, sure, but under that, something raw, something almost like hope. Because if this is real, if that tape exists, then maybe the man everyone spent years tearing down wasn't the monster they made him out to be. Maybe she was right to doubt. I lean forward, keep my voice steady. See, I don't know if the tape's real, but Victor believes it is. And the people he's tied to, they believe it too. She inhales sharply, shaking her head.
That's insane. If there was a tape, someone would have found it by now.
I don't say anything, just watch her closely. Her hand tightens into a fist against the table. She knows something, not the full picture, maybe not even the tape, but something. I keep my voice level, calm, controlled. Did your dad ever keep anything? Old recordings, archives, boxes of tapes?
I stare at him, heart thudding like it wants out of my chest. My mouth opens automatically. Yes, of course he did. But something makes me stop. And just like that, Sebastian sees it. I can tell, the way his jaw goes tight, his eyes sharper now.
See?
He says, like he already knows what I'm about to admit. I close my eyes, let out a breath I've been holding since this conversation started. There were tapes. His reaction is instant. His whole body goes still.
Where?
I glance down at the table, then back at him. But now I'm seeing things differently. The way he brought all this up, the way he's looking at me like I'm holding the missing piece to some puzzle he's been building in secret. And something in my stomach twists. No, it can't be. Wait a second. My voice cuts through the quiet. Are you working with him? His eyes widen, just slightly. But it's enough. Was this whole thing a setup? Did you come back just to get to those tapes?
Camilla, no. You know me better than that.
Do I? The words hit the air harder than I expected. I don't want to believe it. God, I don't. But it's been a long time since I could trust anyone without flinching. He reaches out, like he wants to close the distance between us. But I pull back, needing space to breathe.
I'm not working with Victor. I came back because of you. But the tape, it changes everything.
I study his face. The tension. I press my fingers against my temple, trying to steady myself. They're in my basement. My voice sounds far away, even to me.
What?
After my dad died, I went through everything. His office, the studio, all of it. I kept hoping I'd find something. Proof he didn't overdose. That he was murdered. I lift my eyes to his. No one believed me. The cops shut me down before I could even ask the right questions. So I packed up everything I could. I stored it for a while, then 3 years ago, I moved it all into the basement. Silence. Heavy, suffocating. Now he knows. And I can't unsay any of it.
My pulse won't settle. It's like my heartbeat has climbed into my throat and is refusing to come down. You've had them this whole time? She doesn't flinch, doesn't look away, but her voice is cautious.
I didn't know what I was looking for. I went through most of them and found nothing, just old recordings, demo tapes, mixes. So I left them alone.
I stare at her, trying to wrap my head around it. All this time, years, she's been sitting on a box of ghosts. One of them might be holding the bullet that killed Jorge, or the one that could finally put Victor away. I exhale, jaw tight. We need to go through them. Tonight. It comes out harder than I meant it to, but I don't take it back. She doesn't respond right away, and I know that look. She's scared, not of the tapes, not even of Victor. She's scared of being right. I reach across the table, my hand finding hers. Her skin's cool against mine, her fingers still tense. This isn't just about Victor anymore, it's about your dad. Her eyes close for just a second, but when they open, something's shifted. The doubt, the hesitation, gone. What's left is sharp and focused. She nods once.
Okay.
I squeeze her hand, meeting her stare. We find the tape, we end this. And this time, we're not chasing shadows. This time, we're armed with the truth.
The air in Sebastian's kitchen feels too still, like the calm before a storm that already knows your name. I can't stop pacing. Every step feels like it might crack the floor beneath me. Every breath like it might break the dam I've kept sealed for too damn long. Across from me, Sebastian doesn't say a word, just watches me, like he's afraid one wrong move will send me running. And maybe he's right. Let's get ready to go, before I change my mind and burn everything. It's only half a joke, because part of me wants to throw a match at the past and walk away without looking back. But the other part, the part that remembers every headline, every whispered rumor, every night I lay awake asking why, that part needs to know. Sebastian doesn't speak, doesn't even shift. He just looks at me. And it hits me all at once. The way he's seeing me right now, not as the girl who shattered, but as the woman who stayed standing. I see it in his eyes, the regret, the awe, the truth he's never said out loud but doesn't need to. He never stopped choosing me. I swallow hard, fighting the shake in my hands as I grab my jacket. This is it. Whatever's on those tapes, whatever it means, I won't run from it. Not this time. And definitely not alone. I move before I can think. Before fear has a chance to crawl back in and take hold. Phone in hand, voice steady, heart pounding. I call Maggie. Mags, it's me. Yeah, I'm alive. No, don't start. Listen. I close my eyes, swallowing hard. I need you to feed and walk Bruno, then go home. Please, my throat tightens. I just need tonight for myself. I need to process. I can hear her on the other end. Fast, emotional, all fire and worry. 1,000 questions I can't answer yet. Not now. Not until I know what I'm walking into. Mags, please. Tomorrow, I promise. There's a beat of silence. Then a sigh. She gets it. Thank you, I say, hanging up the phone. I let out the breath I've been holding, roll my shoulders back, lift my chin. I look at Sebastian, nod and say, let's do this. He smirks.
Damn, Morales. Always so bossy.
I arch a brow, lips twitching. I didn't hear a complaint. Because he knows what I know, that the woman standing in front of him isn't asking for permission. She's taking her story back. Sebastian pushes off the counter, his gaze locked on mine.
Let's go then.
Whatever waits in that basement, whatever truths are buried in those tapes, we're not running from it. Not tonight. Tonight, we face it together. I gather my things on autopilot, phone, keys, jacket, checking the mental list I've kept since I was old enough to take care of myself. Sebastian moves through his place with precision, packing an overnight bag like he's done it 1,000 times before. Not rushed, not flustered, just focused. We don't say much. We don't have to. The air between us says enough. When he's done, he walks over to the sleek panel by the door and taps in a code. The system chirps softly, followed by the hum of unseen barriers locking into place. Alarms? I ask, watching him. He nods.
Military grade. If a fly breathes too loudly outside, I'll know.
I believe him. We step into a narrow hallway, and I follow him to the back of the house, through a door that opens into something out of a movie. A massive, polished garage unfolds before me. Cool concrete, soft, recessed lighting. The floor gleams like it's never seen a speck of dust. And the cars. 5 black SUVs lined up like soldiers, 2 ridiculously expensive cars I can't even name but know cost more than some houses. 2 sleek motorcycles that look fast even standing still. And 1 empty space. I stop in my tracks, letting my eyes roam the place. Okay, either you're overcompensating or moonlighting as Batman. Sebastian grins, walking ahead and unlocking one of the SUVs with a soft chirp.
Wouldn't be the first time I've heard that.
I shake my head, still taking it all in. Seriously, who needs this many cars? He glances at me over his shoulder, that glint of mischief in his eyes.
A man with too many secrets and not enough exits.
I don't know whether to laugh or worry, so I do both. And still, one thought nags at the back of my mind. Whatever's waiting in my basement better be worth it, because we're driving into the past tonight. And some ghosts, they apparently don't stay dead. The suburb slips by in streaks of yellow and gray, but my mind's stuck somewhere else. The hum of the SUV feels like static beneath my skin, and beside me, Sebastian is silent, watching the road, pretending to be calm. He's not. Neither am I. So I speak, maybe to fill the space, maybe to stop myself from unraveling. I blurt out. The day I found out about my dad, I was in the office. The phone's vibration against my desk felt like an earthquake. The words surprise even me. But once they're out, the rest comes with it. Fast, raw, real. Victor's name on the screen made my stomach drop. I hadn't heard from him in 2 years, not since he invited me to your memorial. Before that, it had been 4 years. When he told me you were dead, I don't look at Sebastian, but I feel the shift in him, the subtle way his hands tighten on the wheel, the silence that deepens between us. I curl my fingers into my lap like they might keep the memory from pulling me under. Camila, he said, it's about your dad. That moment, it rewired me. The newsroom noise, the weight of fluorescent lights, the way the world suddenly felt like it didn't belong to me anymore. He told me they found Dad in Studio A, that the police were calling it an overdose. The words taste like rust. Like really, an overdose? A hollow laugh slips out, ugly, involuntary. I don't need to look at Sebastian to know he's still listening, not just hearing me, listening. I turn my face back to the window, voice low now, steady. I knew he was lying. I knew it the moment he said it, but no one would listen. And now here we are, driving into the dark with nothing but ghosts and a maybe. But I know one thing for sure. I'm done being quiet. The headlights stretch across empty streets, cutting through the dark like a blade. But inside the car, everything feels still, heavy. My father never touched drugs, never. My voice barely rises above a whisper, but it slices the silence clean in half. I turn, locking eyes with Sebastian. His jaw clenches. Not in surprise, just quiet, bitter confirmation.
And no one believed you.
I shake my head, a humorless breath catching in my throat. No one. The police didn't care. It was an open and shut case for them. Victor made sure of it. Just like he did with you. The air between us shifts, fills with everything we haven't said. Then, Sebastian reaches across the console, his hand settling over mine. Warm, real, steady. It anchors me. Even after everything Victor has taken, my father, my faith, him, this moment feels like resistance, like reclamation. I should have known, I murmur, voice cracking just enough to make it real. Sebastian's thumb brushes gently over my knuckles.
You do now.
I nod once, a breath catching in my chest. Not from fear, from resolve. Yeah, I whisper. I do. And this time, no missed calls. No shrinking back, no silence. This time, I'm not the girl at the edge of the story. I'm the one writing the end. And Victor Narvaez? He'll wish he'd let the past stay buried.
The street lights smear gold across the windshield as I drive, one hand on the wheel, the other gripping Camila's like it's the only solid thing in the world. Her fingers are ice cold, but she holds on just as tightly. The night feels like it's holding its breath. Camila sits beside me, silent. Her eyes are red-rimmed, glassy, like she's still fighting off another wave of tears. And all I can do is keep glancing over, wishing I could do something, say something, that would make any of this hurt less. "Hey," I say quietly, my thumb brushing the back of her hand. "Remember that first day at your dad's Labor Day barbecue? You showed up in that massive Wu-Tang Clan shirt." A ghost of a smile tugs at her mouth.
It wasn't oversized. You were just too straight-laced back then to appreciate proper hip-hop fashion.
I huff a laugh, and for a second the grief thins. Straight-laced? I wore FUBU jerseys and tried to freestyle. She actually laughs, a real one, if only for a breath.
Boy, you were terrible. My dad used to say you had the rhythm of a broken metronome.
I raise an eyebrow. Jorge said that? She nods, wiping at her eyes.
Mm-hmm. But he never told you. He said he didn't want to crush your confidence. He liked that you tried. Said your heart was in the right place, even if your flow wasn't.
I smile, but it's bittersweet. The mention of him hits harder than I expect. Jorge was always like that, kind, even when he was roasting you. Camila turns toward me now, her voice quieter, softer.
You know what he told me that first day?
I glance at her. What? She meets my eyes.
He said, "Mi amor, that boy looks at you like you're the only song worth listening to."
Wasn't wrong, I finally say. The lump in my throat swells. I squeeze her hand tighter. I just hold on. Because right now, that's all I can do. The car slows at a red light. I look over at her. She's staring out the window, lost somewhere between grief and memory. Her voice trails off, but she squeezes my hand back.
We spent so many hours in that studio. Dad would bring us empanadas and pretend he needed help organizing the new inventory, just so he could keep an eye on us.
I grin. He didn't need to worry. I was too terrified of him to try anything. Camila snorts.
Please. You kissed me right there in the hallway, between his office and Studio B. Nearly knocked over that display of Miles Davis albums Dad insisted on gifting new clients.
I chuckle, and the memory comes rushing back, like a record needle dropping into the groove. "Worth it," I murmur, tracing soft circles on her palm with my thumb. "Every second with you has been worth it." The light turns green. I ease the car forward. The silence that follows isn't the same as before. It's warmer now. Familiar. Like we're driving through a song, only we remember. But underneath it, I can feel the shift. The edge of something waiting. Somewhere out there, Victor's still chasing those tapes. Somewhere, the truth about Jorge's death is hiding. And I don't know what we'll find when we finally catch up to it. For now, though, I hold on to this, her hand in mine. The echo of summer days and dusty records. The love that started in a backyard in the Bronx, and somehow, against every odd, still lives here between us. The glow from the dashboard spills across her face, soft and golden. For a second we're 17 again, sharing headphones and trading dreams like secrets, back when everything felt possible. But then, just like that, the memory fades. My hands tighten on the wheel. I glance at her, and the question slips out before I can stop it. BC. Why did you stop singing?
The question catches me off guard. I turn and look out the passenger window, watching the city lights blur and smear behind the glass. Rain's starting to fall. Soft at first, just enough to paint everything in reflections. It was 6 months after your death, I say quietly, tracing slow, mindless patterns in the condensation on the window. I was in Studio B, our studio. Everything was exactly how you'd left it. I wouldn't let anyone touch the mixing board, not even Victor. I kept thinking if I just left it all the same, maybe you'd walk in again. Like none of it was real. My voice catches, tight in my throat. I feel Sebastian's hand squeeze mine. I'd been staring at the same verse for hours. Victor was there too, waving those damn contracts for my debut album, the one we were supposed to finish together. He kept saying it was what you would have wanted, that you believed in me. A bitter laugh slips out before I can stop it, sharp and tired, as if he had any right to speak for you. The replacement mic stand was there, the one Victor brought in after everything. People whispered about the original, about evidence, about investigations, but Victor kept insisting he was protecting me from the detail. I turned to look at him now, really look at him. His eyes are wide, focused, listening. I knew then that every note I sang in that studio would be a lie. You taught me what music was supposed to be. You remember what you said? Every great song has a heart of truth, even if it hurt. He nods, jaw clenched. I can see he remembers. But there was no truth left in that place, just echoes, empty spaces, and people who wouldn't say what really happened. So I left. I inhale slowly, let it sting. I put your mixing notebook on the console and walked out, deleted all your voice memos, the technical notes, the arrangement ideas, all those little messages you'd leave me between takes. A sad smile curves my lips. Not that it mattered, I'd already memorized every word. The last time I tried to sing was 6 months after the supposed accident. I close my eyes, feel the way the memory scrapes down my spine. My voice, it was like broken glass, that texture you used to love so much, the one you said made every note feel alive. It turned to static. I couldn't tune it to anything except grief. The rain hits harder now, a steady drumbeat on the roof of the car. I blink through tears and swipe at them before they fall. You know what the worst part was? I ask, barely above a whisper. The silence. After everything went quiet, after I stopped hearing melodies in my head, I realized maybe silence was the loudest truth I could tell. I look at him again, eyes full and unflinching. Because how could I sing when every song reminded me that you were gone? How could I make music when half of my sound was missing? Sebastian pulls the car over, no warning, just slows to the curb and puts it in park. The dashboard lights cast a pale blue glow over his face, sharpening the lines of pain around his eyes. He turns toward me fully. There's something breaking open in him. I can feel it before he even speaks.
I never wanted.
I know. I cut him off, finally turning to meet his gaze. But that's what happened. My voice shakes, but I don't look away. Not this time. The music died in that studio, Sebastian. It died with you. Or at least, I motion between us, at this impossible moment, at the reality of him sitting here, alive, while everything I've built has been built on his absence. Outside, the rain keeps falling, a soft rhythm against the windshield. Years ago, it would have been enough to spark a song, something moody and full of longing. Now it just marks time, counting the seconds of silence between us. And there's so much silence. My hands twist in my lap, fingers clutching each other tightly, knuckles pale. I tried to build a new life, I say quietly. The words taste like dust. At 21, I was standing in the bathroom at Ritmo magazine, staring at myself in this thrifted blazer that didn't fit right, trying to convince myself I belonged there. I glance at him, just for a second. You remember Dad's friend Miguel? He gave me the job right after graduation. Said it would, quote, keep me busy. I make the air quotes with my fingers, bitter muscle memory. Sebastian doesn't say anything. He doesn't have to. I can see him in the reflection of the window. His face is hollow, like he's hearing a song he never expected to find on the track list. Everyone kept saying that, stay busy, stay occupied, you'll go back to music when you're ready. Like grief has some magic timeline, like one day I'd just wake up and everything would be normal again. A dry laugh escapes me. Ugly, honest. But how do you go back to normal when your entire world has shifted? When the one person who helped you find your voice is just gone. I turn to face him fully now. I need him to hear this, not just listen, but feel it. I only ever really talked about it with Maggie. And even then, I held pieces back. How could I explain it? Everyone thought I was just mourning you, but it was more than that. It was like losing my native language. Every time I tried to express something, it came out wrong, like I'd forgotten how to speak. My fingers lift without thinking and press lightly against my throat, an old reflex, one Sebastian would remember from our recording days when I was trying to find the right pitch, the right breath. I tried to sing once in the apartment I moved into after graduation, just me and the walls. And all these half-finished songs you'd help me write. I shake my head, staring past him now, into some echo of the past I'll never shake. It wasn't just that I couldn't sing, it was like my voice didn't recognize me anymore. That texture you used to love so much, that soul you said made my sound unique, it turned to static, white noise. The only emotion it could carry was loss. I stare down at my hands. They're still twisted in my lap, white-knuckled, like I've been bracing for impact this whole time. You know what the cruelest part was? I say, voice barely above a whisper. I kept getting these flashes, these fragments. A melody would sneak into my head, just like before. I'd be walking to the subway or sitting in that sterile office at Ritmo, and suddenly there it was, a song, something real. My throat tightens. But every time I reached for it, every time I tried to catch it, I pause, and the tears come faster now. I'd hear you instead, your voice, your notes, your laugh when I finally nailed a tough run. I wiped my face, angry at the tears, and then I'd remember. You were gone. And just like that, the melody would vanish, like smoke, like it had never been there at all. The rain on the windows smears the city lights into halos, and for a second, the world outside looks just as blurred as I feel inside. I still have them, I say softly. The unfinished songs. They're all in my phone in the voice memos folder, like little time capsules from the life we were building. I glance at Sebastian, and he's still silent, still watching me, still wearing that expression like the weight of it might crush him. Sometimes late at night I scroll through the titles, but I never press play. My thumb hovers like muscle memory, because pressing play, it means admitting that those songs will never be finished, that the dreams we had, the plans, the love. I finally meet his eyes again, and this time I don't flinch. It means admitting that everything was built on lies. He doesn't argue, doesn't try to explain. He just sits there, his reflection in the passenger window, a ghost of the man I loved, the man I lost. I take a breath, let the storm settle enough to speak again. The magazine became my lifeline, I say. Every byline, every draft, it was like learning how to speak again. Not the voice we made in Studio B, but a new one I could call mine. Sometimes when everyone else was gone for the night, and I was alone in the office, the city would sing outside my window. Just traffic, sirens, rain, but it had rhythm. And I'd catch my reflection in my screen. This woman trying so hard to look professional, to look whole. Like if I wore the right clothes, wrote the right story, maybe I could convince myself I wasn't still that 19-year-old girl whose world imploded one rainy night. A bitter laugh escapes before I can stop it. You used to say, the truth always finds its way out, CC, one way or another. My voice shakes as I look at him, really look. But I never thought it would look like this. I gesture between us, this moment, this impossible reunion. Never thought my truth would end up in Times New Roman instead of tempo marks, in magazine columns instead of musical measures. I never thought I'd be sitting here, years later, face to face with a ghost who isn't a ghost, trying to figure out which parts of my grief were real and which parts were just another lie I was supposed to survive.
The SUV idles at the side of the road, rain thrumming against the roof like static on vinyl. Headlights flicker in the distance, a horn blares somewhere off behind us, but in here, it's just us, me and Camilla, and 20 years worth of silence finally broken. I don't think, I just reach for her, pulling her into me like my arms have been waiting their whole life to remember how. She fits there, right against my chest, like she never left, like I never left. I'm here, I murmur, and my voice is lower than I expect. Rough, like it's had just as many ghosts to carry. She melts into me, breath shaky, fingertips trembling. I'm here now, I say. She lets out this soft, disbelieving laugh against my shoulder, and when she pulls back to look at me, something inside me snaps back into place.
And don't ever leave.
My chest tightens so hard I swear I feel the ache in my teeth. I brush a curl from her face, fingers lingering at her cheek. I need the contact. Need the proof that she's real and not just another cruel memory I've conjured from guilt and insomnia. Never again, I whisper. And then she kisses me. No prelude, no hesitation, just years of everything we never got to say poured into a single breath. I kiss her back, like the truth lives here now, between us, under our skin. I kiss her like I could rewrite the past with just my mouth, undo the loss, the lies, the pain. When we break apart, she laughs, a quiet, stunned sound. Her forehead brushes mine.
I can't believe you're really here.
I smirk, fingers beneath her chin so she has to look at me when I say it. Believe it, Morales, and keep talking. I want to hear everything I missed. She raises a brow.
Everything?
I nod, settling back into the seat, one hand on the wheel as I ease us back onto the road. I want to picture it like a movie. So go ahead. Tell me how you became a millionaire. Or is it a billionaire now? That brownstone? Brooklyn calls that a mansion. She laughs, really laughs this time. And damn if that doesn't feel like sunlight breaking through every cloud. I've been under for years.
I've done well for myself.
Damn right she has. I glance at her, just a flick of the eyes, but it's enough to take her in. The way she holds herself now. Grounded, powerful. She's not the girl from Studio B anymore. The girl with trembling hands and the voice of a hurricane. She's become something even bigger, even stronger. She's become herself. And I don't know what I did to deserve this second chance, but I swear I won't waste it. Go ahead, I'm all ears.
Sebastian says, eyes on the road, but I feel the weight of his attention like it's a hand on my back. I stare out the windshield, the city lights bleeding into the rain. You already know about my dad. His knuckles tighten on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
But what you don't know, I continue, fingers absently twisting the cuff of my sleeve, is what I did after. That gets him. I see it, a flicker of curiosity behind his eyes.
Then tell me.
The night we buried him, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing footsteps in my apartment. Just my mind playing tricks on me, I thought. But then I started noticing things. Files in different folders, my dad's old phone blinking when I swore it had been dead for weeks. It wasn't grief, Sebastian. It wasn't just grief. I leaned back, letting the rhythm of the road pull me under. 3 months passed, and every lead I chased disintegrated. The police report was clear. The coroner's summary, neat, official. Too neat. Even the PI I hired, some smug ex-detective with a whiskey problem, told me I was wasting money chasing shadows. I couldn't let it go. Not when every instinct in me was screaming that something wasn't right, and the only person who didn't try to shut me up or change the subject was Maggie. And just like that, I'm back there, in that freezing storage unit downtown, fluorescent lights buzzing above our heads, the dust thick enough to choke on, boxes piled like forgotten memories. Maggie's sitting cross-legged on the floor, her pink hair brighter than anything in the room, watching me tear through another box of my father's life like it holds the missing piece of the puzzle. Like I haven't done this same dance 20 times before.
You're gonna drive yourself crazy,
she said gently, elbows resting on her knees. I have to know, I whispered, pulling out another binder. There has to be something in here. But the box was just like the others. Tax returns, old concert programs, flyers from community events, nothing that screamed conspiracy, nothing that told me why my father, the man who spent his life protecting the people he loved, ended up dead in his office from a supposed overdose when he did not do drugs. Maybe I'm not meant to know the truth, I said, closing the box, my fingers trembling. Maggie stood and dusted off her jeans. Her eyes held that quiet fire I've come to depend on.
Or maybe the truth is that you need to live.
It hit me like a bass drop I didn't see coming, because for months I'd been buried in it, drowning in the endless loop of what if. But Maggie, she was offering me a lifeline.
Come to Brooklyn with me.
I blinked. What?
I'm serious. The scene there is exploding. Real artists, real voices, no smoke and mirrors. You always talked about starting your own magazine. And me, I need to sing somewhere that isn't haunted.
I looked around the storage unit, at all the questions I couldn't answer, at all the ghosts I couldn't chase anymore, and I realized she was right. And in that moment, I heard it, my father's voice clear as a bell, echoing from somewhere deep inside me.
Live your life, mija. Don't let the past chain you.
So I did. I sold the house. Our Spanish revival, the one that smelled like sawdust and coffee, that carried music in its walls the way some homes carry grief. I packed every room like I was folding away versions of myself. The girl in the kitchen learning to make café con leche with too much sugar. The teenager lying on the shag carpet of the living room listening to Nina Simone on vinyl while my father told me,
This is what real soul sounds like.
the realtor sign went up on a Tuesday. By Friday, there were 3 offers. People love the history, she said, clipboard in hand, eyes gleaming with commissioned dreams. A famous producer's house, that kind of legacy sells. I signed the papers that night, watched the numbers hit my account like cold confirmation. I didn't cry. Not until I changed my phone number. And then there was Miguel. Telling him was the hardest part. I can still feel the way his arms wrapped around me in that tiny office of his at Ritmo. The scent of paper and cologne. The faint hum of his desktop printer sputtering behind us. Your father would want you to find your own path, he said, his voice rough, full of a grief we still hadn't learned how to share. Just don't forget about us, our Luna. That name. It hit me like a key turning in a locked door. Luna, my middle name. The one my mother whispered into my ear when I was little, when no one else was around. The name no one in the industry ever knew. The name untouched by death or headlines or rumors. In Brooklyn, I could be Luna, not Cece, the girl with the golden voice who never got to finish the song. Not Jorge Morales' daughter, the woman chasing conspiracy theories in closed files. Just Luna, a writer with a pen in her hand and her own damn story to tell. The SUV hums beneath us, a soft vibration tethering me to the present. When I finally blink and look over, Sebastian's already watching me, eyes warm and full of something I can't quite name. That's how I started over, I say softly. He lets out a low whistle, smirking.
Oh, you just disappeared, changed your number, rebranded yourself, and became a publishing mogul?
Something like that. Despite the weight in my chest, I laugh. He leans back, drumming his fingers on the wheel.
Dang. And here I thought I had a comeback story.
I smile, settling deeper into the seat, my body leaning toward the heat of him like instinct, like memory. But then it hits me again, the weight of what we're about to do, the tapes, the truth. I spent years becoming someone else, someone who could survive it. And now, I'm about to dig her back up, Cece, the girl with the voice, the girl who never stopped asking questions. And she's waiting.
That's it for this week's episode of Echoes of Us. But the story is far from over. New episodes drop every Thursday, so be sure to follow, subscribe, and never miss a moment. Thank you for listening and being a part of the story. Your support means everything. If you enjoyed the episode, please consider leaving a review or sharing with a friend. It helps more listeners find us. Until next time, listen closely, because sometimes the past isn't as far away as it seems.